Yeah, it's Cash. DJ Deuce McGuire, this hot as a log fire. Spark the lighter in the 303. We wrestle at the quarry. Golden, Colorado. Mercury Pro Wrestling Academy. Elevated wrestling. Yeah. Hashtag follow if you know the motto. Can't stop now. Got the need for speed. Combustion and concussion. Championships in my vision. I put the key in the ignition. Such an easy decision. I got a hustler's ambition. Wrestling at its best. Welcome to the show. I put on for Rocky Mountain Pro. Let's go.
RMP Radio is on the air. Hi, I am your host, Mr. Fourth Row, and joining me on this edition, I've got somebody you guys all know. His smile lights up the room. That's KT Dub. KT Dub, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. What it is, what it was, and what it will be.
All right. So, hey, first question that all our RMP fans may be interested in knowing. Last time we saw you, we saw that you got sustained an injury in a match. How's the injury rehab going?
You know, it's going well, actually. I'm in physical therapy once or twice a week, just depending on the week. Mm-hmm. Especially with COVID and everything going down. I'm also doing a lot of exercise at home. I've had to, kind of substitute a lot of exercises that you would do at the gym, mm-hmm. For doing them at home. But I'm actually enjoying it, being out there in the weather, and it gives me an excuse to get out of the house, during the lockdown.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, as you know. So, like we do here on RMP Radio, we'd like to get to know a little bit more about the person behind the wrestler. And the first thing I'd like to start off with, and you guys may or may not know, catching the opening of RMP Radio, KT Dub is a music creator, and he created the Ignition theme song for Rocky Mountain Pro Ignition, and it's what I used to start off RMP Radio. How did you get involved in music creation?
Oh man, that's a crazy story. So when I was a kid, I always used to make little jingles in my head, and they never really amounted to anything. I would just muddle little hymns and things like that. When I was about, I want to say between 11 and 13, my uncle, who was basically the only positive male figure in my life, my uncle was getting into music at that time through his church. And he had met a guy named Keith. So Brother Keith and my uncle ended up forming a partnership and starting to create music. So I would see my uncle messing with his little beat machine and, trying to write lyrics and trying to produce Brother Keith. And I don't know, I kind of liked it. I thought, can I do that? I've never tried it before. So I ended up writing some things and writing a few verses that I took to my uncle. And, I was like, hey, Uncle, do you mind if I record this and that? And he was like, just read it to me, rap it to me, show me what you got, basically. Yeah. And that was my start.
That is awesome. So how did it come about that you got to produce and create the Ignition theme for Rocky Mountain Pro?
So the theme actually came about because we were at a show down in Denver. I want to say it was a taco festival. We were trying to figure out a way to open the show and let people know, hey, it's time to get out there to wrestle. And the idea came around that they've been using the same theme song for their opener on their show for a long time. And somebody played my entrance music, which at the time was different from what it is now. Right. It was a song that I had wrote a while ago. I called it Paperboy. It was a track that I wrote when I was in Louisiana, which had also greatly exposed me to the music scene. I probably did 6 shows out there and met incredible talents, by the way. Shout out to Johnny Bro and Don Ron out there, who really showed me love. So Suede, God Carleone, all those guys really helped me out. What's his name? Retro Pack and Marquis. All those guys really influenced me and showed me how to produce good music, quality music, what you need to do to make quality music. So this track that I had made that was played at the show, the Taco Festival, I had made down there, and somebody heard the last verse that I had did on there, and they'd asked me like, "Hey, I didn't know you rapped, man. Like you're like a legit rapper." It was the verse that was also because it's necessary, generated monetary, December to February, this is only momentary, paper chase and secondary, my business planetary, and NFL commentary is obviously involuntary. Keep hating numbers, visionary with your wretched ass vocabulary, the paper boy, special delivery. And
nice.
he felt like, oh my God, that was genius. Do you want to make a song for the opener? And I agreed, and I said, yeah, definitely. Give me a couple weeks. Let me see what I can get together. So I ended up getting with my little brother, and we made a couple of days out of it, and we just busted it out. You know, I felt like it was quick, but we just got in the creative process, and it took a couple of days, and just banged it out.
Yeah, and like I said, it's the the theme song for Ignition, which we've here for in attendance at Rocky Mountain Pro events, and of course on the YouTube channel and things like that. And let me just tell you guys this: you guys in attendance that haven't heard it on a stream or the clear version on this, I mean, it really pops. It's a little harder to hear when you're in attendance at the quarry and stuff like that, but it's fantastic, if I must say, and that's why I use it to open up RMP Radio. You know.
Thank you so very much, man. Seriously, thank you. That was I really appreciate you saying that, because that was the first time I'd ever had to make a theme song for anything. You know, usually I have to like bust out a 16 verse or like a 32 bar verse, and it has to be good, and you have to be very intricate with the lines. But this is the first time that I got an opportunity to be creative and make a theme. So I really appreciate the fact that you appreciate it and enjoy it.
Yeah. And so you had mentioned that you got to do some rapping in matches and things of that nature. And we saw a couple that times at Rocky Mountain Pro. Is that going to maybe be happening in the future a little bit, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. I'm hoping to maybe expand on my character a little bit. I kind of want to bring a more of a rap battle element to my character. I want to expand on the fact that he is a rapper from a rough neighborhood. The fact that he's a really cool guy. Maybe he's got a little humor to him. I think you guys would be really interested to see what I can bring to the show when I return.
Yeah. That's cool. I'm going to be excited to see that. The first time you whipped that out, I was like, oh yeah, let's do it. All right, let's go. Keep going with this. It's like, all right. I was literally excited. I don't know if I got caught on camera. Like, all right, this is fun. I always like when it comes to, I know this kind of stuff has happened in other wrestling universes, but it's always cool to have it come in one of your home promotions. It's a STD. It's something totally different. So it's awesome.
Definitely. That's what I really wanted to do. I didn't want to be like a traditional wrestler that got in there and you had to kind of develop a feel for like who you are. I kind of went into wrestling knowing exactly who I am and what I wanted to be and the kind of energy that I wanted to bring to the ring. I knew exactly the kind of moves that I wanted to perform in order to get the victories and to bring the crowd into my world.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So another thing you had mentioned to me that you do outside of the wrestling ring is you are a big video game player. What type of games do you like? Do you have a special, a favorite console and all that kind of fun stuff?
Yeah, actually, I've been playing video games pretty much my whole life. I started out with the Super Nintendo. Actually, it was the NES. My best friend at the time had an NES. We were playing like the Home Alone games and E.T., just the old school ones. And, kind of evolved from there. My favorite game ever made is a black cartridge on the Super Nintendo called Killer Instinct. It's a fighting game. So I've always been really interested in fighting games, but it just never got the popularity it deserved, although it did win Game of the Year, 97. Because of games like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat and the Capcom universe, basically Capcom versus Marvel universe,
right.
those gained a lot of popularity at the same time. So I feel like this game was kind of pushed down a little bit, but I played that game. I probably haven't logged anywhere close to the hours I put into that game, into any game since. Now I am an avid Xbox player. I love what Microsoft brings to the table. I switched from PlayStation once the Halo series came out. You know, I was playing a lot of football games and Final Fantasy. And when Halo came out, I decided to make the switch. I thought, you know, this game looks pretty cool. Let's go check it out. And I fell in love with it, and been in love with first-person shooters and fantasy RPGs ever since. You know, games like Star Ocean, or the Final Fantasy series, Bayonetta. Just, you know, the really cool expanded one-player games.
Yeah, awesome. That's cool. I love that. You know, and this is a question. We've had quite a few wrestlers and talent on RMP Radio talk their video games, but I've never asked this question. But have you guys ever, you know, of course, you know, not this current state of affairs, but you guys ever get together and have video game sessions, either in person or online? The talent at Rocky Mountain Pro.
So, funny story. You are pretty familiar with Mop Boy. He's a pretty well-recognized name.
Uh-huh.
Mop Boy is actually the fraternity brother that got me into professional wrestling all of these years ago.
Okay.
Back when we were in college, we joined a fraternity together. And one of the traditions of that fraternity was to get together and play Smash Brothers. So I have played quite a few games with Mop Boy, although I was never good, so I gave up the sticks and stopped playing. I'm not a Smash Brothers guy. But he is. He might be able to still play pretty good, but Smash Brothers is definitely not my game. But yeah, recently I have played quite a few Gears of War 5 games with Lipto.
Okay.
Me and him have been friends on Xbox Live for a while now. We just never actually played together. But yeah, recently I started playing a lot of games with the Luchador Lipto, and his son actually will pick up the sticks, and I won't even know. And like, I get a message like 5 hours into playing with him that, hey, you've been playing with my son, I'm going to hop on now. Oh, okay. All right. I guess we're doing this.
That's awesome. I love it. It's great.
But yeah, I mean, I don't think we've ever gotten together in the back and been like, hey, we're all going to play this video game tournament or anything like that. But that actually sounds like a pretty fun idea. You know, maybe we should.
Yeah. And, when, things come off pause, of course, there's the, Punished by Pixels Twitch channel with Mercury Aiden and Curtis Cole, so they could always have a rotating guest in playing with them. So it's just a thought out there that I'm just thinking and putting out there in the ether there. So
yeah, I think that would be cool actually to see Curtis Cole. Maybe he streams one time and he plays a tournament with somebody. You know, maybe it could be Madden, maybe it could be a fighting game, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool. Those two are actually really good at video games. I don't think I've ever seen somebody with as good at joystick skills as those two, Curtis Cole and Yaden, you know. But it'd be interesting to play those two for sure.
Right. Awesome. Yeah, that's true. Okay. So another thing we were talking offline before we got recording here, something that you've kind of been keeping busy with, everything not as normal as it is, but you've kind of got into doing, shooting range, getting into guns, CCW type stuff. What piqued your interest in starting into that?
Yeah. So yeah, it's just something I recently got into. Since my injury, I haven't really been able to work as much. I was doing FedEx on the side. So I really like to say that I do FedEx in order to wrestle professionally.
Right. Because
I really want to focus solely on professional wrestling because, you only have so much time before you really got to say, can I continue to do this? And I really wanted to put a lot of focus on professional wrestling. And I think that's kind of what led to my injury, not enough sleep, not enough energy, not enough focus, just really trying to prove myself and being in too many places at once. So I think this cookie, so what I do now is I deliver cookies until about 3 o'clock in the morning. And I do that, again, just to pay stuff down right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I just dropped this thing. I was trying to fix it. Can you repeat the question? My fault.
Oh, I just was kind of curious what kind of got your interest into getting into guns, getting into shooting, going to the range.
That's right.
You think you talked about maybe getting a CCW?
Yeah, I completely lost my train of thought after I dropped it. I was doing FedEx so I could wrestle, and then I got this cookie gig because I'm injured. Once I got injured, there wasn't a whole lot I could do, so working wasn't, there's only so much you can do. So delivering cookies till 3 a.m., one day I came home, there was a car parked in the middle of the road, and as I was passing them, I just kind of honked at them, and they ended up following me for about a block or so, and two guys approached me, tried to fight me. This was probably 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. And, I really just didn't feel safe. I'm an injured guy, got a lot of gold on. Mm-hmm. Trying to fight two guys while you're injured, and I've got a career to think about. It just didn't really sit well with me. So, I kind of felt powerless in that moment. And I really haven't talked about this with anybody. It's kind of one of those, like I said, I'm kind of a private person. Right. Those two guys coming out and trying to attack me like that, I just felt like, if I had, something to defend myself against, two guys, while I'm injured, I'm sitting here trying to park in a handicap space, and they're, worried about why I'm honking at them as they're just hanging out in the middle of the lane. And they followed me all the way to my house. So, I just, I don't know, I just felt like, maybe, self-defense, while you're injured, I can't really get into like Krav Maga or get into, Taekwondo or anything like that. That's just not, in the cards right now. Mm-hmm. So, I was looking online, and an advertisement for guns came up, and, I decided, to start looking into it. What are the laws into guns, and what does it take to carry? And, I'm almost 30, man. Like I'd never even considered this until that night. I never even considered, carrying a gun. I was always pretty uncomfortable with guns. I see somebody carrying, I'm like, oh damn, don't mess with that guy. But then I started to think about it. There's probably a reason that person carries. Maybe he's also experienced something like I did, or maybe he just feels better, carrying. And they just took me into a deep dive into laws and what it would take, and what is and isn't legal. A lot of people obviously like, oh, can I shoot a guy if he comes in my house? I'm not looking for any of that. I just want to make sure that if two guys approach me at 3 o'clock in the morning, if they've got a gun, I've got one too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So is this your first introduction into that world?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, I'm almost 30 now, and I've never even considered picking one up. When I was a kid, a lot of the kids, obviously they grab their parents and they, bring it to school, and you get to hold it and, look at it and all that. But, growing up in, a rougher neighborhood, that was kind of a commonplace thing, but like I never actually owned something. My mom never carried, my mom never owned. So I was always looking at, a friend in the neighborhood, or some bully who was trying to intimidate you. Look at what I've got, So I never even considered that until that incident, where, I don't know, something just clicked in me, and I said, hey, man, might be time to start looking into this stuff.
Yeah. So what have been the most interesting things you found out when it comes to like the information, laws, and etc.?
I think the fact that Colorado is so comfortable with guns, I did not know that. I felt like maybe we would have more restrictions just because we are so progressive and open-minded, and we're more outdoorsy people, I didn't realize that people outdoors like to shoot outdoors too, I never connected those dots, and I don't know why. Don't ask me. I don't so I just never even considered it.
Yeah, that's cool. So, what was your like your first experience going to a range?
It was awesome, actually. So this is probably, I want to say, I'm still a kid. So I have an extended family. My family is not very big at all. Honestly, I don't know anybody in my family. I maybe could name 10 people, and I'd be lucky if I get to 10. So we have an extended family. So my godbrother decided one day to take me to the shooting range. He had just picked up a couple of pistols, and he had a snub nose he wanted me to try out. So my first experience with a gun was going to the range with my godbrother, and we just shot at a target for about an hour.
Mm-hmm. And what are your experiences when it comes to guns? Any particular guns that you found like, oh, this is comfortable, that this is what you kind of like? Anything that you've experienced when it comes to like shooting, say like a 9mm versus like, I don't know, if a 44 and that kind of stuff?
Actually, just getting into it, you kind of wonder like, hey, if I was going to buy one, what would I get?
Right.
And the way you go about that is they've got rental programs
Mm-hmm.
when you go into a gun shop. So personally, what I did was I did research online about different guns that I was hoping to shoot. And I kept finding common guns that a lot of people are carrying just for the ease of access, stopping power,
Yeah.
and just to be different too, So personally, I went in there and I rented a snub nose, Smith & Wesson, and a 9mm. I want to say that was also a Smith & Wesson. Yeah, I believe that was a Smith & Wesson. And I basically just, tried out different guns, just tried out different mechanisms to see what they do. They all look like different guns to me. So I felt like, oh, out of these three different types, which ones would I like?
Yeah.
There's single action, there's double action. There's, with the revolvers where you got to, pull out the clip and, reload it that way, or the semi-automatics where, you just put the whole mag in and you're ready to go after a quick slide of the action. So I just started playing with those different things, and I really came around to Glocks.
Okay.
I just like Glocks in general. I also think HK is a good brand as well. I fired an HK VP9 that I felt was very, very comfortable. With as far as like when you shoot it, the recoil doesn't like, you're not gonna pop yourself in the nose when you shoot that thing.
Right.
When you're shooting a revolver, those things kick so hard, man. You might as well pop yourself in the face almost every time with the barrel. So like, I tried out a couple of the Glocks, and I really enjoyed not only the power, the comfortability, and just the simplicity of it. It just it's not flashy, it's not pretty, but it gets the job done, and it's
Right.
durable.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I went many, many years ago. I haven't been in a while, but believe it or not, I was a part of a Star Trek group that the president of the group was big into that, and a couple times we did actually after our meetings were over, so they weren't an official event, but we went to a couple shooting ranges, and his wife bought a Beretta. And I actually liked it, and I was like, so believe it or not, I'm really comfortable with a Beretta. So if I ever got one, I'm thinking I might actually go along that way.
Yeah, those things are pretty. I remember seeing one in a gun store. It was next to this other Desert Eagle. But I remember talking to my little brother about it. Like, man, would you ever hold something like that? And I remember him saying, "Man, that thing is weird looking."
Yeah, I felt real comfortable with how it sighted and things of that nature. So that, and
Yeah.
like I said, it's everything's gonna be tailored to your own likes and how you kind of feel comfortable, and that's what kind of sold it for me, was just how it sighted. So
have you shot it before, or?
yeah, I did. Like I said, she his wife she owned it, and I got to try it. One of the times that we went, and I liked it just on that factor alone. And so like I said, if I ever did, I might lean and go that way. So
Yeah, you should come to the range with us, man. I'm actually trying to get more people to come with me.
Okay.
And go to the range. I got our producer Kelly Dowdy. I think he's interested in coming out there with us, and we got referee Dewey Larson. I think he's also interested. I think he has an HK.
Yeah.
He's actually the one that said that I should go try that thing out and see what I think.
Oh, cool. Awesome. We can make it a field trip.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Just get a nice little group and just go shoot at the range for a little while. It could be fun.
Yeah, awesome. That'd be great. All right. So, hey, another thing you mentioned to me, and people following you probably on the social medias might know this, is you're a big sports guy, not alone, let alone the wrestling, but you like the outdoors, you like basketball, football, soccer, a wide range of activities. Was this just part of your upbringing or growing up that you just kind of got involved in a whole bunch of things?
Actually, no.
Oh.
See, the thing when I was a kid, wrestling was king.
King.
If you were talking about basketball or football or nobody wanted to hear that. No, ain't nobody got time for that. If it wasn't about what Undertaker did the night before, or did you see the promo The Rock cut, or like did you see how Kane took that punishment and then just stood up? It was like if it was any other sport, it just not in my household. So I had to actually socialize outside of my house with friends at school or when I got onto sports teams. So like my introduction was YMCA flag football.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about football. I just knew you take this ball and you run into that end zone. So that's what I did. And I guess we did well enough my first 2 seasons that we made it to the championship twice and took it the first year undefeated.
Oh, cool. Awesome. So what about the other sports you said you're interested in? Basketball, soccer.
So what would actually might shock you is skateboarding. I'm a really big skateboarding fan.
Okay.
Guys like Nigel Houston, Rob Deerdeck, Paul Rodriguez, the SLS scene. I'm really, really into skateboarding. Boo Johnson, hanging out with Lil Wayne. It was good to see, how they like to mix it up. It looks like they're getting the girls in here as well. I watched a little girl in the 2019 SLS Street Series win the whole thing, and I'd never seen anybody skate that clean. Like this girl had it all. So yeah, it would surprise you that I enjoy like extreme sports as well. Dirt biking, when before Travis was gone, absolutely. Basketball is a big one. I'm a huge LeBron fan, Kyrie Irving. I don't actually have a team, but I do enjoy watching the games, especially guys like the Beard, James Harden, when he goes out there and he's giving somebody some attitude or arguing with the referee. Or, watching LeBron travel and nobody's calling it and everybody's got something to say about it. Actually, me and my roommate, we just finished watching The Last Dance with the Jordan special.
Yeah, how'd you like that?
It was really, really good. I was not aware that Jordan was such an enigma. Like, I knew he was a legend, but, like, this really shows you why and how he got there and how he handled it.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
I really, you can take inspiration from this guy. I can really see why people look up to a guy like Michael Jordan, for his sports play, just his work ethic, the energy he brought to the people around him, I can really relate, I don't ever want to see nobody fail. I'd rather, hey, if I can help you, I'm going to help you. Or, hey, if I can bring you up with me, I'm going to bring you up with me, and I feel like Jordan was the same way. He didn't want to see any of his teammates play at a lackluster level. He wanted everybody to be at their best at all times for as long as possible, no excuses.
Yeah.
And I think that's the kind of energy that owners like Matt Yaden bring to the table, and he expects out of his wrestlers. And I think that's where me and Yaden click there too, is, we have such a passion that we mesh on, that it's like, he wants the best out of me and he's not going to accept anything less. So he lets me know, hey, you're messing up, do better. And that's the only way you're going to get better, is if people like that care about you enough to say, look, man, that was cool, but you can do this differently.
Right. Yeah. And I want to expand on that discussion. I think one of the biggest things on that particular aspect was when Steve Kerr was talking about how Jordan was rough on him, and then then the payoff where Jordan, the one shot, and then of course
the one shot, yeah,
and then he gave him that smirk and that wink. I was like, you get me,
yeah,
that
that was pretty amazing to watch. You know, a guy like, you know, Steve Kerr, he fought through adversity, man, to get where he was. And
Yeah.
I agree. It looked like he had to fight tooth and nail to get where he was. So kudos to him, you know, for earning the respect of a guy like Jordan and getting that shot, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, and Kerr kind of led to, you know, it's like, yeah, it made me better.
Definitely. And I think honestly, that's what sets Rocky Mountain Pro above a lot of these other companies, is that drive that, look, we might be good here. Okay. This is great. Let's keep this, but we can do better as a unit. Let's see if we can get to that next level. And Matt is always looking for that next level, that next, what can I do to take this product and to take these wrestlers, this group of people that I believe in, and bring them to the next level? What can we do to succeed together? You know, Matt is never an I guy. You know, he's never like, oh, well,
No.
I didn't feel this way, or I didn't like this. He's a team guy. You know, he's looking at the whole picture in a different way than a lot of people do it in general.
Right, yeah, because he's looking at that, you know, these are the people that are representing my company and in turn me. So, you know, I want to kind of give them the skills to develop to make them better and make us all better collectively.
Exactly. Like, I can honestly say, if anybody ever accused Matt Yaden of not giving 100% of the time, they're full of shit. And you can tell them I said it.
Yeah. Well, he'll hear this. I guarantee he's going to listen to this. So
come get the smoke, okay? I don't care. Come get it.
Yeah.
I said it.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Hey, you know what? I think saying that, I think that is a great way to sandwich this episode, wrestling on both ends, a lot of good meaty stuff in the middle. But before I do let you go, people wanted to follow you on social media, the Facebook, the Instagram, etc. Where could they do that?
Yeah, you can find me on Facebook at Get'emKTDub and on Instagram at Cash the Wrestler. I'm on there quite often. And I haven't really been posting too much lately because of the COVID thing. Not a lot of content to post. Yeah. But I will be posting a lot more as things start to open up. And I do interact with my fans regularly.
All right, that's fantastic. Well, once again, I want to thank you for coming on to this edition of RMP Radio. And we will all be seeing you when things come off pause and get you back in that ring.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, I really appreciate you bringing me on here and giving me the opportunity to speak and actually get people to know who I am and not just for the person I am in the ring, but, you know, outside as well.
Yeah, all right, you're welcome. Like I said, I do appreciate it. Once again, a big thank you to KT Dub for coming on to this edition of RMP Radio and letting all of the RMP faithful know how his injury rehab is going, talking a little bit of creating music, playing some video games, and talking little sports and everything else. So, guys, hopefully we'll see him in the Rocky Mountain ring here real soon. All right, well, before we get out of here, let's pay some bills like we used to say back in the day. You want to get some fantastic merchandise from your favorite Rocky Mountain Pro superstars, such as KT Dub, of course. Head over to rmpwrestling.com, click on the merchandise link, or if you're in the Amazon website or your Amazon app, search for Rocky Mountain Pro. And then additionally, as of this Thursday, May 21st, 2020, Pro Wrestling Tees is having a sale, a memorial sale. They usually have those, I believe, every year around Memorial Day. I think you get 20% off, I believe, and if you do a order of $150 or more, you will get free shipping. I took advantage of this during the spring fling, and they did arrive a little bit later than normal, but the current state of affairs, that's certainly understandable. So I'm just going to ask you guys if you are able to check out Pro Wrestling Tees as well and buy some merchandise from your favorite local wrestling talent and help them out from there. All right, so of course we do not have any events with everything being on pause, but in the meantime, head over to our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Rocky Mountain Pro every Sunday. Rocky Mountain Pro Rewind talks about the early days of Rocky Mountain Pro. So join, I believe, Mercury Matt Yaden and others talking about that. Also can catch us on Fight TV when we got new episodes coming in. Of course, we've got episodes in the can ready to go once we can sync up the storylines and all that kind of stuff like that. Also at youtube.com/Rocky Mountain Pro, Fight Network UK, Right Now TV, and ImpactPlus.tv. You want to follow us and see what we do all have going on currently. Everything does stem from the website at rmpwrestling.com. And then on the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all of the Rocky MTN Pro. Once again, I'll phonetically spell that for you. That's the Rocky Mike Tango November Pro. And I want to thank you, as always, for listening to this edition of RMP Radio, where pro wrestling is elevated.